All right, this is the second part. I'll have this together seamlessly. So we miles and events had us separate. Anyway, so we're talking about the Kansas City Chief defense. It seems to have upgraded. It seemed to have solved some problems. And my question to you was, with Chris Johnson or Chris Jones, excuse me, with Chris Jones, you mentioned that. And then you cut out, but I'm going to ask, did they figure out how to use him right to get the push up the middle?
Yes, they had him at the five tech at the beginning of the season. Then they put him in the three tech nose tackle. So he's been able to get the push up the middle. That's his natural position, and he is better than a Draymond Jones and a Shelby Harris. I just want to put that out there right now.
You think? you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
I mean, do we really have to even say that, honestly?
I mean, I will continue to say it because I found it really hilarious that we got all this crap and hate for just pointing out the obvious that Shelby Harris and Draymond Jones are not good at their respective positions. They are backups at best.
Absolutely. So, or at least rotational first, rotational Robins, I guess. At, yeah, at best. So something we mentioned, we were talking in the beginning about Elway's mismanagement. Something to Keeb DeLee brought up that this is the fear. I think the fear factor of that's why STR doesn't want anybody mentioning Elway, except he got quarterbacks wrong. That's it. That's all you can say. It was Talib who said it was Elway, not Kubiak, not Vance Joseph. It was Elway who got rid of the dogs. Am I right about that?
You're absolutely right on that. It's been confirmed. It's been confirmed, and not just by him, but sources close to Keith Talib that him and Elway didn't get along towards the end there because of the mismanagement and the dismantle of the Wade Phillips defense and
Yeah.
the Wade Phillips model.
Yeah. I think that kind of carried over with Von Miller, too.
I agree.
Yeah, so I just want to bring up, like, I cut you off. Say it again.
I was just saying that when it comes to the Wade Phillips model, this isn't any close to it because of the player personnel that we have on this defense. We haven't had a interior push since Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe were in their primes, and that's very unfortunate for guys like a Bradley Chubb and a Von Miller near the end of Von Miller's stint in Denver.
Yeah, that never enough emphasis on that. Von Miller brought that as a major point right after the Super Bowl. He said, "Oh, well, my success stems off their success." Now that segues us to Kansas City again because we saw that we have seen the model to beat Kansas City. We know what it is. We don't need to put 9-hour shows on, just focusing on the Kansas City Chiefs. We know because we saw in the Super Bowl how to beat the Chiefs. Primarily, you've got to have the push up the middle. The corners isn't going to cut it. You've got to have that push up the middle. It's paramount with somebody stopping somebody like Patrick Mahomes. We saw it in the Super Bowl. Yet the Dove Valley doesn't want to look at it. They also want to make themselves. They think they're the Kansas City Chiefs now, signing 2 position players for what would you say, $85 million. So again, it just goes back to that mismanagement and the mismanagement fan base too, who just keeps cheering each mismanagement move every year.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic from a Pat Bowlen fan base standpoint when it comes to this football team because we know as a Pat Bowlen fan base what needs to be done to this football team on the offensive line and defensive line. And I was listening to an STR outlet earlier today, and they were saying that, well, we need coverage linebackers to stop the Chiefs. I disagree with that full-heartedly because you need both. You need coverage linebackers and the push up the middle to affect Pat Mahomes and this Kansas City offense.
Who was mentioning coverage linebackers before them by a long shot? You got it. So they're finally figuring this out. So I guess their next sales pitch is going to be Josie Jewell is that answer. I'm supposing.
Yes. You're going to get rid of Kenny Young, who is properly developing a guy like Baron Browning, and you want to push Kenny Young out of town for a guy named Josie Jewell, who is not known for his coverage instinctual abilities. And Kenny Young is only good at Madden, apparently, to Joe Rolls and those type of guys.
So, and that's the kind of garbage that a lot of these people, we have so many viewers. Yeah, like I said, garbage sells. Crap always sells. It always sells. It's the cold hard facts. It's the brass tacks that doesn't sell, but it is what it is. We know what. And again, we bat. If I was so wrong, why are they now saying coverage linebacking? Zaven Collins, they didn't even know who that guy was. It was
Yep, I agree with you 100%. They didn't even know who Jamie Davis was, and he was a first-round pick. And I was bringing up this guy before any of the other outlets out there were even mentioning this guy to be even a third-round consideration. I was saying that Jamie Davis.
Yeah, you got laughed at. Jamie Davis.
Yeah. Look how he's shining over at the Washington football team. He's actually the football team is actually starting to get their act together right now. They're on a roll right now, so because of that defense and Jamie Davis in that front seven. So yeah, just saying.
Yeah. You don't know. Yeah.
No, so I don't know anything.
Yeah. Hey, but like I said, it's quality, not quantity that we do here. We do quality work, not quantity work. So again, we're batting 1,000. We're continue to be, spot on with this stuff. So,
and I do want to mention something else. Tyrann Mathieu is way better than Justin Simmons. I just want to put that out there. It's not obvious. It's pretty damn obvious that this Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, is way better than everybody's fanboy and lover boy and spokesperson of the Denver Broncos because they had to drum the other guy out of town, Justin Simmons.
Well, they didn't drum Justin Simmons out of town.
Von Miller.
Yes, Simmons is the fanboy because he's whose pick was Simmons?
John Elway's.
Yeah, he's a John Elway pick. That's why he gets preferential treatment.
That's why Noah Fant gets crapped on.
Yeah, like when he's waving in the end zone, hey, I'm over here, over here. I wanted to bring this up too. The guy in L.A., the L.A. Chargers, that guy is light years ahead of Justin Simmons.
I'm telling you guys.
That's a real. Here's the thing that I think is interesting about that, because nobody wants to look at a real safety, what a real safety can do around the league. To me, that pick with Locke had more to do with that safety being the opposite of Simmons, because he's the opposite of Simmons. He's actually a first-round top-tier marquee safety, who's getting paid less, by the way, than Simmons. I'm sure. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that Simmons is getting more.
You're right. Simmons is getting more.
Yeah, nobody wanted to point that out. That had less to do with Locke's horrible throw and more to do with this guy just being like, just making an absolute acrobatic circus catch. They didn't even give that guy credit. That's like, it was all just Locke, just like as if Locke just threw it right in between the numbers. That's not what happened. So
no, we saw, just to bring up another example of what we saw this past Sunday with the Chargers, there was also another guy named Mika Fitzpatrick with the Steelers who was talking shit directly to the Broncos sideline. And I wonder who that was towards. Was it towards Justin Simmons or John Elway? Probably
both. or both. So, so we got that. So, offensively, I guess they just do what they always do, pick on. This is a team that, since we're on Justin Simmons, This is a team that absolutely understands it's paramount to target Justin Simmons. They get it. This is the team that gets that they like relentlessly go after him. And the linebacking too. I mean, they got one after the linebacking too. But it's been upgraded now just by default, not really because the Broncos did anything, or by default with Browning and Young. That's maybe a feather in their cap. We can't have that for too long. We'll have to get rid of him, screw that up somehow.
Yeah, because Kenny Young is only good at Madden 22.
Yeah. So I would say a healthy targeting of Justin Simmons would be what the doctor ordered in this game.
Well, I actually have a point of contention. I agree with that 100%, but I think they're going to be targeting Patrick Surtain a lot in this game. I think they're going to put Tyreek Hill on Patrick Surtain, and we've seen with Patrick Surtain, yet he's good against big physical Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick receivers, but when it comes to speedy receivers, he struggles with a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's why we said that he's a solid pickup, but he's not a marquee pickup. He's not a
home run pickup. If you had the front seven, Patrick Surtain, that would have been a very good pick. But unfortunately, you don't have the front seven to make Patrick Surtain look good, nor the coverage linebacking ability to make him look good, nor the safeties behind him, except for Kareem Jackson and Chad Stern, that can help Justin Simmons. Or Patrick Surtain, my apologies.
Oh, no. Simmons isn't helping anybody. It's like that's the rule. He doesn't help anybody. So, yes, I think you're right. I think you got it too. I think that Surtain is going to be seeing a lot of Tyreek Hill, and like you said, and the problem is I don't, you watched Kansas City film. How does that offensive line look right now that they put together? Also explain the offensive line. Explain the revolution or the evolution of this offensive line.
Well, they went out and picked up 5 new starters in the offseason. Creed Humphrey, a guy that I wanted in the draft, has been an absolute stud. This guy will be a probably second or third team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. And Trey Smith is a 6th-round pick. That is scouting right there. And they brought in one of the best guards in football, in Joe Thuney. And they brought in Orlando Brown, who's been a very solid pickup for the Baltimore Ravens. The only weakness on that team is probably their right tackle, but in the past few weeks he has been stable enough for them to operate that on that side of the offense. But their interior offensive line I think is going to abuse our defensive line. I don't think there's no question about it.
So yeah, and I think that Andy Reid has also realized that he can't have Mahomes always throwing like 50 passes a game, that he's got to throw in some run. And do you think that they're looking at running on the Denver Broncos?
Yes. I think he has evolved since his early days in Kansas City and also his days in Philadelphia when he had a guy like Westbrook and LaShawn McCoy, but he has a guy named Clyde Edwards-Helaire who is a very good I think that in this game you're going to see a lot of quick RPOs, quick screens, and run. I think just because Vic Fangio is going to drop a game plan to help his defense.
Yeah, quick screens seem to be this defense's kryptonite too.
Yes.
Yeah, they tend to get exploited in that department. And I guess the way to neutralize Chubb on that against that right tackle, I guess, would be to bring in some blocking support, pass pro from the running backs on that side, just as a stopgap. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. I think they're going to use Travis Kelce and Noah Gray to help out the right tackle in this game. And also, my personal opinion, I just want to say this. Where's all the talk that Patrick Surtain is going to be helping against the tight ends this year in the AFC West? I thought he was picked just to play the slot position and cover tight ends. That has sure gone away because of injuries and how bad Kyle Fuller has been. What a terrible free agent signing that player has been.
Well, you know that Fangio will take the heat on that one. That'll be a
Yeah,
Fangio taking the heat on. So,
I mean, he's already taken the heat for supposedly hiring Pat Shermer and not having this defense in the top 5. So because
yeah,
of this
well,
terrible play.
yeah, we know why he doesn't. He can't get the player personnel he wants. He did. They made that
Absolutely.
clear. Actually, it was a couple weeks ago that George Payton actually made it clear that that was not a Fangio. That Surtain was not a Fangio pick.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
so obviously he's not allowed to do what he was able to do where in these other places that he went. Again, which goes back to our problem about management. This team is not helping the quarterback even from the defensive standpoint. Because defenses help quarterbacks too. I know people don't want to, that's like, with I know there's a lot of people that can't even understand that. So if it's upper management mismanagement. Yeah. So yes, I see Surtain getting picked on. I see Chubb being neutralized. I see no push up the middle. And then at the end of the day, the majority will just chalk it up as, oh, it's just Mahomes. Mahomes blocks, Mahomes plays special teams, Mahomes is on defense. It'll just be his magic wands are legendary.
Yes, I agree with your assessment, and I think the side of the field that they're going to attack is, like you said, Patrick Surtain and Justin Simmons. I think they're going to go at that side of the field with guys like a Robinson and a Travis Kelce and a Tyreek Hill.
Well, they also may go after Fuller too if he's not injured. I'm not sure. I don't have the injury updates.
I think he's playing in this game. I think Darby was sick earlier in the week. I don't know if he's playing in this game. But Garrett Pulls is coming back, and I think he's going to get abused by Frank Clark.
Yeah, well, that would be interesting too if we get it from the right and we get it from the left.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I think the main culprit in this game is going to be the interior with Lloyd Cushenberry and Dalton Reisner if he plays.
To me, that's the key. If you're the Chiefs, is exploit Cushenberry, get because you know what's going to happen. You know they're going to want to throw because we're the Kansas City Chiefs without an offensive line, of course, but they think they got an offensive line. Cushenberry gets destroyed as usual and gets you think that this is a game they should learn what I like how STR was going on and on about how great Shermer was with his game plan against the Chargers. I do not see that being the case running the football like they did against the Chargers. I think Elway has a point to make, and he's going to just throw, and this thing's going to get ugly.
I agree with you 100%. We've seen it over the past how many weeks we've played that they do not want to run the ball. It's like Warden Hazen, do not run the ball. Do not run the ball, whatever you do. Run the 3 wide receiver sets.
Yeah.
Run the 3 wide receiver sets, and I think that Elway and Shermer want to make it a point of emphasis that, okay, we have arrived. We are 6-5. We are the new Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to throw it 20-plus yards down the field and screw the running game.
It could be seeing multiple picks by Bridgewater in this. And again, if that happens, there's going to be people saying, okay, you told us that, Locke's got to be held accountable. And now it's almost like a self-fulfilled prophecy. And it's okay. Now we're going to hold Bridgewater accountable. Now we got to go after Aaron Rodgers. I guarantee you. Oh,
I agree.
And say, "Oh, Bridgewater, you sit on my lap like a little puppy dog. You're a nice little backup. You've earned to be a backup."
You're the next Jameis Winston when you're on the Bucs. You're good for 9 wins, but it's time for us to go get Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and then what happens when that doesn't happen?
We're screwed.
They're like this. Oh, what do we do?
And then they're going to be desperate, and George Payton and John Elway will go after their boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Kirk Cousins.
The man, the legend of retreads.
Yeah, the legendary
retread.
Or I think it's more realistic that they go after Matt Ryan.
Hey, what's Christian Ponder doing these days?
Hey, maybe just bring Brett Favre out of retirement.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
His ego, he probably would do it.
That's such an Elway thing too. That would be such an Elway.
Yeah. No. Oh, he didn't do that. Oh God. Yeah. You can't even make. You can't even make this stuff up. It's pretty pathetic.
It is, and I think our offensive line is going to get abused in this game, especially the interior. I think Cushenberry is going to get. I think he's going to get so exposed in this game that they might have to bench him. I think they're going to have to do something because Lloyd Cushenberry cannot handle Jones one-on-one. You just can't do it.
No, yeah, you could see a quick sack on Bridgewater.
Yeah, it could get him hurt too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's so close to being knocked out. That's why I said I don't understand why STR is so quick to make Locke walk the plank when they could be seeing him again. And of course, there's no pass pro protection. So
you know why we brought it up in one of our last videos that they're scared of Locke. That's why they're trying to walk him out on that plank because they're scared of him.
Well, they don't want him to do good. Because they got visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. I guess getting like Aaron Rodgers. They think they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. I know they do. Or Russell Wilson.
Yeah, why sign two receivers to a combined $85 million?
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you were trying to lure, thinking that's going to lure, because I'm hoping Rodgers and these other and Wilson are much more intelligent to know that. Yeah, we've seen plenty of teams with shit hot receivers that didn't do crap because the rest of the team wasn't up to par. Even a quarterback that's decent, they come out college get ruined because the team is crap around them. So
Russell Wilson has called out the management saying that I want a better offensive line in front of me. So he understands the importance of the offensive line because he's been over the past 5 to 6 years, ever since his Super Bowl run, his offensive line has been degraded. And with Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to stay in Green Bay. From all the reports that I've been looking at and all the research I've been doing, I think he's going to stay in Green Bay. Why would you leave Green Bay with that offensive line and that player personnel around you? You can have 2 years of success going forward with that player personnel on that team. So I don't think he's going to leave Green Bay, and I don't think Russell Wilson's going to leave Seattle unless they don't get their offensive line together. I don't see them leaving. I honestly don't. And I think that's going to piss off Elway, and they're going to probably go after Matt Ryan or Kirk Cousins. I think those are the backup plans.
I know because they can't develop anybody. They can't develop anybody. That's what I'm saying. They would just as soon get rid of Kenny Young, and stick with people.
Say Hightower.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, then you got to remember, Young can go wherever he wants to go. He doesn't have to stay here anyway.
I don't think he will stay here. I think he's going to be glad to go to a contender.
Oh, absolutely. He would. Yeah, he would. You would. And then those people have to eat crow once again as Kenny Young destroys. Is a factor, against anything this idiot organization puts up again. I mean, it's almost like this thing just repeats and repeats and repeats over and over.
Yeah, it's like when the quarterback reads War and Peace. It's repetitive. It's repetitive. We don't have great scouting. We don't have a great scouting department, I believe. I think our scouting department's below average. Cecil Lammey says it's the best in the league. Total bullshit.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Cecil Lammey's an idiot, but this is the thing. I don't even know if this scouting department even means anything when you got Elway meddling.
I agree with you, but we saw a complete 360. What was it? Middle of the second round, going into the third round, the players that were selected here. I think that had more to do with certain people in that scouting department, but the top men, the top guys, that sure as hell ain't Elway picks, Matt Russell type picks. He's gone now, but those type of scouts, those aren't those type of picks.
Well, again, we want to tell everybody out there, Peyton actually said he said it. Peyton actually said that it was Elway who picked Surtain. Elway picked Surtain. Elway picked Surtain.
Yes.
George Payton said it. George Payton said it. He said it. It was reported in the Denver Post. Reported it. I have to keep saying this because STR refuses. They are not allowed to tell you that. That's off limits.
Oh yeah, and I honestly believe if John Elway wasn't in that organization and they did it properly, it would have been Rashawn Slater or Zaven Collins. One of those two. Guaranteed.
Yes, and this year it would be interior defensive lineman to get that push up the middle.
Yes, I agree full-heartedly. And this is a very deep defensive line class.
Hopefully
we
don't get rid of Fangio, and this is something that they could get even in the later rounds, a diamond in the rough in the later rounds that Elway can't fuck up.
I sure hope so, but do I have faith in this organization? No, not till we get a proper owner in place.
No, I see Fangio being fired before any of that would ever happen.
Yep, I agree. And he'll go somewhere else and succeed, like every other coach.
Even STR has to admit that too. That
because they can't defend it no more because the evidence is out there. So
the problem again is from the top is the meddling and mismanagement. So we'll be keeping an eye too on whether or not they're going to try to pull a fast one, having a banker hold a title in name only. Oh, it's only one owner. See, and they'll always point to that guy that has nothing to do except his name is on a title. Well, the so-called majority owners or whatever underneath that name are meddling and screwing up and meddling, and that would be John Elway and Brittany Bowles.
Yep, and Joe Ellis in the trust.
But who could probably throw a wrench into that too is Beth Bolin Wallace, along with maybe another billionaire somewhere contesting.
Yeah, I can see that, but it's just a waiting game, and we have to wait and see what happens.
Well, we're still, like I said, we're still waiting on the Kaiser thing. That decision has, and the judge. If you listen to what the judge said, it's diametrically different than what the media here. The media here says it's just an open and shut case. There's nothing to look at. Don't worry, we're moving on. The judge ruling this is saying this is a very complicated case. So obviously, it's not as open and shut as Denver media would like you to believe.
Yeah, because it's just like with everything in the world today. They do not want you to know the truth.
No, oh, absolutely. They want you to know the narrative. That's not the truth. They want you to know the narrative.
Yes, feel good. Watch your TV. Be blinded by the sheep. Be a blind sheep. Don't listen to the truth. Don't listen to common sense. Just listen to the news and abide by what they say.
Well, there is no such thing as reporting anymore. It's narrative. It's narrative presenting. Narrative presenting. That's what you have now is narrative presenting.
Yes, I agree.
They present the narrative. That's all you're getting. The narrative. Just cheat, narrative. So.
Yeah, just like with John Elway, Warren Hayes. Do not get this player. Do not get a DJ Reader. Do not get a Adrian Amos. Get a Menelik Watson. Get a Domata Pecco. Get a Adam Pac-Man Jones. Get him.
And then it's what about the players on your team? Shoot them.
Yeah, get rid of Philip Lindsay. Get rid of Kenny Young. Get rid of Malik Jackson, Danny Trevathan, Brandon Marshall, the linebacker. Get rid of all of them. This is my team.
Shoot them. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we'll see if we can, it's going to be a late night Sunday.
Yep. Yes, I agree.
God, hopefully, I like doing these at this hour for me because, man, when we do a lot of times, I'm like,
maybe take an energy drink or something. Something or something.
I don't know. That's kind of counterintuitive when it's that late. I'll, so yeah, it's because I've worked and just like anyway. So that's the show. I think we hit some really good points. So this is a long one today because I got to marry the two halves together.
All righty.
All right. Be safe out there. Okay.
We'll do.
All right. We'll talk to you post game.
All right. We'll do. Keep you updated.
All right. Bye.
Bye.